Hello. I am going to continue with the discussion that I started in the talk this past month. And what I'm going to focus on is what I couldn't focus on then, which are the clay pieces, what I call clay drawings that are part of this exhibition. Why did I start to use clay? It's oddly different than the works on paper that are here, but there's something about the earthiness of clay. The fact that you can dig into it or scratch into it at a certain state that makes it appealing to me and not too different than some forms of printmaking, particularly intaglio printmaking, where you are furrowing or scratching or digging into metal, and that is what's going to hold the image. I have a friend, Nason Nagelhardy, and he is in the Miami Valley Pottery. He owns that. He's a friend of mine, a colleague, and he has opened up his studio for me to work with him. So he can roll out pieces of clay, slabs of clay, about yay thick, and when the clay is still wet, I can carve in with various clay tools, essentially etching in or making an image that is a low relief, bas relief image. I can also paint with slip, and we can get that piece, that tile, normally about this size, some a little bit larger, into a bisque firing, in other words, going from a moist level of clay to a leather hard surface or substrate that I can then glaze with liquid glazes, which is like brush and ink, or pencil glazes that Nason has that I can draw, essentially, not too differently than I would draw a print via matrix or draw on a piece of paper. And I'm going to take this image and bring it a little bit closer so that you can see some of the details. What I like about it is that it has a texture. It's like an object in itself. It's something that I can handle comfortably, that anybody can handle comfortably. It's not as delicate as a piece of paper. And I can also impart texture. As a close-up you might have seen, all of them have been scored. Some have had fabric, cotton, or any kind of material that's pressed into them, creating a little bit of tooth. And once they are bisque fired, then I can draw into them, paint into them, whatnot. You never know what's going to happen. Also similar to printmaking. I did over a dozen of these. Half of them broke in one of the firings, so that happens. But I'm going to continue to do this with Nason, and I like the idea of digging in the earth. My wife is a gardener, and she does that. I do digging in a different fashion. And I'm going to just talk about a poem that is titled Digging. And this poem, I'm not going to read it, it's a little bit long. It's by Seamus Heaney. That name might be familiar to you, one of Joe Biden's favorite poets. He quotes from him all the time. But in the poem titled Digging, he starts the poem, "Between my finger and my thumb, the squat pen rests." So you get an image of the tool that a writer uses. And then he goes on to talk about Seamus's Irish poet, and his father and his grandfather farmed the land. And he talks about them literally digging into the soil and doing so with elegant moves, very precise moves, and the kind of thing that the son never acquired. Hence, he does his digging with the pen. And that makes a relationship that I feel very strongly about between drawing lines and writing lines. Most of the work in this exhibition, including the clay pieces, have to do with scratching the surface of a paper or clay earth, which Seamus is talking about the relationship between his digging and his ancestors' digging. He ends the poem after talking about the things that he can't do that his father and grandfather did with the same line: between my finger and my thumb, the squat pen rests. I'll dig with it.